There is no second chance, no music, no dance. Stand up, set your goals, pitch it right.
Welcome back to The Real Deal, Impacting India. This is the show where 12 social entrepreneurs compete to get a piece of the 10,000 crore impact investing sector of India so they can scale their companies to the next level. They compete in challenges every week, post which a panel of investors evaluate them.
Over the last 2 weeks, our contestants have gone on the ground to find solutions at the leprosy mission, as well as competed in teams to test their innovation under pressure through the Marshmallow Challenge.
During both these tasks, our judges observed them from close quarters and evaluated them on not just the final result, but also how they approached the task and the process they implemented.
I was most disappointed with Team 2, who started from the top. They tried to hold this structure up, which, I mean, what are you thinking? And Gayatri and Deep being there, I thought they would do better.
You may ask, how did we select these 12 social entrepreneurs? Well, we received over 150 applications on Kettle from social entrepreneurs all over the country. Aditi Srivastava and Trisha Rajani of IntelliCap had the huge task of screening each one of these applications. They both led IntelliCap's rigorous 4-step screening and coaching process. After the 12 were identified, Anuj Sharma of ASCO completed a due diligence on every entrepreneur, making field visits and thoroughly checking that our final 12 were indeed investor ready.
You know what? One of the hardest things about scaling your company is hiring. Social entrepreneurs work in niche markets, which makes it very difficult for them to compete against large companies who offer big salaries to young talent. Now, students also face a dilemma. They want to live a socially impactful life on one hand, and on the other, they're compelled by societal pressure to take those high-paying jobs. So today, our 12 contestants are going to come face-to-face with 12 brilliant students from IIT Bombay, SP Jain, and ISDI, so they can try and hire them.
The Indian School of Design and Innovation, fondly called ISDI, believes that the disciplines of design and innovation play a significant role in addressing issues of economic development and social improvement. These challenges take on a special urgency in India, where a growing population and a rapid evolving society crucially needs a strong design intervention. ISDI is in collaboration with Parsons, the New School for Design, a global leader in design education.
Let's meet the students.
There is no second chance, no music, no dance. Stand up, set your goals, pitch it right, pitch it tight. You got seconds to make it happen. Go for it, go for it. Go, go, get the real deal. Go, 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 get the real deal. Go, 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 get the real deal. Go, 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 get the real deal. Go, 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 get the real deal. Go, 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 get the real deal. Get the real deal. Get the real deal.
So let me explain how this is going to work. It's kind of like speed dating, but let's call it speed hiring. Each one of our 12 entrepreneurs will come face-to-face with each one of our 12 students. They'll have exactly 1 minute to try and convince them to be in their companies. After 1 minute, a buzzer will go off, and every student will move 1 chair to the left. Each student can vote for 2 entrepreneurs that they would want to work for at the end of the round. Our judges can closely observe and watch our entrepreneurs in action.
like Nilima. I like the fact that she's looking at sex ed and she's looking at breaking the taboo that is around sex.
I connected a lot with Nikhil in the brief 1 minute that we had, and the way he talked about it, he's really passionate about what he's doing.
What I was a little bit surprised was that only 2 of them got their business cards along. So Swapnil and Jessie got their business cards along, but it was a very obvious thing that the other people should have also gotten their business cards along.
When it comes to Subodh, during that 1 minute interaction, I couldn't understand a word that he was saying, and I wish, he had pitched it in a better way to me, and I would have, it would have made more of an impact.
In the case for Jesse, malnutrition is also a huge problem, and the fact that he's going out of his way to solve those problems, I thought was really impressive.
I believe Siddhi, who had a very good idea, and I feel it's a really motivating cause, but her pitch wasn't great because I felt she was more trying to build up personal interaction rather than pitching her idea very well.
I would like to be hired by Vaibhav. Startups such as FT Cash, where even micro merchants can have their bank accounts and get paid from people on a very e-wallet scheme, is very good.
Our entrepreneurs are working really hard to impress these amazing students. They're committed and they're passionate. But let's slip into a quick break. And on the other side, let's see how they fared, not only in the investors' eyes, but on which student gave the maximum number of votes. Welcome back to The Real Deal, Impacting India. Our hiring challenge is all done. Now remember, every student got to give 2 votes to any entrepreneur he or she wanted to work for. Every time an entrepreneur got a vote, it's 10 extra points. So our judges are ready to give their scores, plus announce the votes. Let's see who got the most votes. Nikhil, please stand on the hotspot.
Nikhil, you got a student count of 4.
Judges, please share your scores for Nikhil.
Overall, I really liked how you were focused on making what you do real. It was very tangible. And there's just sort of, you have that sort of real quality about you as well. And I think that created a good connection, so good work.
So I was really trying to form, as you said, like a real connection with the person and see what they were like instead of really pitching my business or what I would want them to do,
Thank you. Next contestant, please, Shelly. Judges?
Shelly, you got a student count of 2.
Your scores, please.
So you actually went through the 5 key elements that were necessary here. First, you immediately tried to relate to the person by asking them, who are you? What do you want to do? That gave you a sense of both of those questions. Then you were able to give them a very quick pitch about what is Save a Mob, but in a customized manner. And then you were, again, one of the only people to do the 4th thing, which is sort of to then ask them, are you interested in this? Rather than just assume that. And again, ending it by being relatable, by sort of reminding them that, hey, I'm Shelly, I'm Save a Mob, nice to meet you. So clearly you've practiced this much more than the others, and you did a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Nilima, please step on the hot spot.
Nilima, your student vote is 2.
You said, I will first give you a little bit about me and my company, and then I'll talk about you. I think that was very good because you set the tone of that 1 minute, which is important. However, I would have given you a higher score had you flipped it around and said, let me first hear about you, and then I will tell you about my company, because then you can tailor your needs and roles and opportunity more towards that candidate.
Nilima, what did you think? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll respond to Amar's comment, which is that my strategy actually is the opposite of yours, and I think it works really well for our company, is that I hook them in with what we do. I think it makes the conversation more focused.
But in 1 minute, if the person says, you know, you talk about your business and the person is not interested in that particular issue or topic, then you have lost it. Whereas if the person talked about that I'm interested in technology, then you can emphasize on the technology component of your business.
I don't think the judges' scores reflect my level of performance.
Judges, your scores for Akash, please.
Akash, your student score was 3.
Judges, any feedback for Akash?
Akash, I think you struggled a little bit in this challenge. But I think it's not necessarily your fault, but the technical nature of the product that you're involved in. So at least when I was observing, you found that you know, you spent a decent amount of time just talking about chilling and your product and the technical stuff. Whereas if you compare it to someone like Nikhil, who's also doing a technical-based product, and he just sort of gave a very quick summary description. So that was just my feedback for you.
Wilma, unfortunately, you scored no points.
Judges, your scores for Wilma.
But I think where, if I can offer some constructive feedback, is you didn't necessarily ask them what they wanted to do. It was much more of a one-way kind of a thing.
I thought I connected well in terms of explaining the work that we do. But of course, that did not seem to translate into people actually giving votes and, wanting to be part of the organization. So for me, that was a big disappointment.
Siddhi, please stand on the hot spot.
Siddhi, you got a student count of 3.
Wow, very well done, Siddhi.
I think for me, you did pretty well too. I heard you speak to one of the students who was a marketing communication student. So I think you picked up on what their strengths were, what they were interested in. And also I think you mentioned that you didn't have a good marketing team and you don't have a Facebook page or a website. And you were looking to expand that and how you can get them on board for that. So I think it was pretty focused.
Next, Swapnil, please.
Swapnil, you got 2 votes.
Judges, your scores for Swapnil.
Let me begin. I think what I liked that you were among maybe 1 or 2 people that actually gave your cards out. So I think that was a good thing. You also have a difficult business to attract talent, right? I mean, not many young kids want to be cleaning toilets. So I think given that, you were able to attract a few candidates. I just felt that you were a little too long in your conversations. So that was the reason.
But in addition to that, I found you to be highly relatable to the candidates because you're actually trying to convert the language of your business into things that they would understand. So for example, I remember one guy asked you a question about Sulabh and you talked about gamification of toilets. And that engineer, immediately I could see in his eyes, he heard the words gamification and sort of it rung a bell for him. So you're very adaptable and responding to those kind of things while still having that highly structured approach and covering all the key points.
Thank you, Swapnil. Judges, your votes for Vaibhav.
Vaibhav, you got a student count of 3, so you get 30 extra points.
Vaibhav, I really liked your interview method and style today. Some took a more linear approach. You took more of a macro, kind of circular approach to framing what it is you do and the problem you're solving and the challenge that you're addressing and how. So I thought that was very effective, very structured. And the few times that I did catch the entirety of your interview, you were always sort of within that 1 minute.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Good work.
I thought you were probably doing a little bit of too much selling in that 1 minute. So that's why I gave you a 7 score.
Sure. So I do a lot of recruitment for my own company. One of the things that I've seen is that people need to see the differentiation that we bring on board with respect to some of the competition that we have. And I think that needs to come out in that 1 minute. And because some of the job structures that we have are fairly easy to understand, from that perspective, I think a student is also intelligent enough to understand some of those things.
Next on the hotspot, Subodh. Karthik, can you please tell us how many student votes Subodh got?
Subodh, unfortunately, you got 0 student votes.
Judges, any comments for Subodh?
I felt you were a little bit too pushy in terms of your interactions with these students. You were also leaning into them, talking very fast, very loudly. It almost felt like you were going to eat them for lunch. So I think that was the reason that I felt that, you were not engaging really in a dialogue with them.
It was difficult for me to differentiate between the brand that I'm associated to right now and the company that we are going to establish. That was a little difficult for me, and that took me more time to convey, and absolutely I didn't have more time to do what I wanted to do on the challenge.
Judges, your scores for Jesse, please.
Jesse, congratulations. You got a student count of 3.
One student, when I was watching you, he asked a question about how big the market is. You talked about how many meals you serve today, which is 50,000, how many you want to plan to go, but you talked about the market in Delhi being 25 million people and half of it is your market. But what I was hoping for, that was your hook to go in and say, this market opportunity is going to be from 50,000 meals today to 10 million meals in 5 years, or whatever that number is. So that was my missing link for me.
On the contrary, actually, I heard him talk a lot of numbers. I think he was very focused, knew what his vision was, wanted to grow the company from 15,000 meals to 150,000 meals, and also grow pan-India, scale up to Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore, a few other cities that you mentioned. So I would disagree with that.
I think last 2 challenges have been a little bit difficult for you, Jesse, but today you really redeemed yourself extremely well. You related very well to the contestants, and like Swapnil, you were also giving them your business cards. You did a lot of things right, but you did one thing in particular which I loved, which is that you described it as a social business, but we still want to make money. And that is the only candidate who really said that and got to the essence, the heart of what the show is really all about. So I think you did a great job today.
You talk with the students, you explain your business, and if you have a bit easier business like I have, to explain at least, then it's easier to get their attention.
Judges, your scores for Gayatri, please.
Gayatri had 1 student vote.
See, winning a task is like winning a battle. I have a war to win. So I have multiple battles to win. So I think to me it's the end which will matter.
I actually watched one interview where Gayatri understood what the student's background was and already asserted that, this isn't really a great match. We're probably not the best employer for you. And wow. I appreciated that sort of directness because you just cut to the chase, you save everybody time. I thought that was, wow. Much appreciated.
Interesting, and sacrifice potential votes at the same time. Very interesting.
It's a pleasure to watch.
I think that's fantastic.
And last but not least, Deep.
Deep, you got a student count of 1.
I loved the way that you segmented sort of the choices that you're presenting to the students. You said, do you want money, fame, or impact? And I think on some level, this is a way of filtering through which students are the types that are really going to be the right candidates for these types of social businesses. So it was a good way of doing it.
Thank you.
And I think the challenge also you had was because you were talking, most of the students were boys, majority of them. So I think it was kind of a tough sell for you, but I think at the same time you made it so easy and so comfortable for them. And you actually broke that ice, which is really important. So it was not just important to know their professional aspirations, but also their personal aspirations. But of course, draw that line there.
So we had a very difficult, very different product, so to say. Not many people understand it. Like out of 1 billion, probably I'm the only one doing it. So that says it, and these are ITs, MBAs. So But still, one vote is a good validation. So I would like to meet the person who actually said he would like to work for me. That makes the two of us.
So the next one is a pro buddy.
Sorry? Yeah, well, in the making.
In the making.
Great.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
Let's see how our contestants are doing on the scoreboard.
After we add the points gained from the speed hiring challenge, the final scoreboard looks like this. Nikhil, Vaibhav, and Swapnil are leading the pack, followed by Wilma, Siddhi, and Jessie. And bringing up the bottom rung of the scoreboard, it's Deep, Shelly, Gayatri, Akash, Nilima, and Subodh.
That brings our hiring challenge to an end. Now next week we have a very special and glamorous challenge to our grand gala. But our entrepreneurs are going to have to work doubly hard so they can avoid the first elimination. So we're here at the St. Regis for the Grand Gala. Now, as you're getting excited about this, I want to let you know we have high-profile celebrities coming in. We've got big investors, big philanthropists. Amongst you today, there's going to be one mystery investor. Now, he or she is looking to invest 25 lakhs, but only in one of you. Your task today is to network. Show us your networking skills.